All right, here we go. So, for you out in video land, we're continuing our reading of The Merchant of Venice. And we'll start today with Act Two, Scene Five. There are three characters in this rather short scene. The notorious Shylock, Lancelot, his servant clown, and Jessica, Shylock's daughter. And so we start, the scene is in Shylock's house, and enter Shylock and Lancelot.
Well, thou shalt see. Thy eyes shall be thy judge. The difference of old Shylock and Bassanio. What, Jessica? Thou shalt not gormandize, as thou hast done with me. What, Jessica? And sleep and snore and rend apparel out. Why, Jessica, I say.
Why, Jessica?
Who bids thee call? I did not bid thee call.
Your worship was wont to tell me I could do nothing without bidding.
Enter Jessica.
Call you? What is your will?
I am bid forth to supper, Jessica. There are my keys. But wherefore should I go? I am not bid for love. They flatter me. But yet I go in hate to feed upon the prodigal Christian. Jessica, my girl, look to my house. I am right loath to go. There is some ill brewing towards my rest, for I did dream of money bags tonight.
I beseech you, sir, go. My young master doth expect your approach.
So do I his.
And they have conspired together. I will not say you shall see a masquerade, but if you do, then it will not. Then it was not for nothing that my nose fell a bleeding on Black Monday last, at 6 o'clock in the morning, falling out that year on Ash Wednesday was 4 year in the afternoon.
What? Are there masks? Hear you me, Jessica? Lock up my doors, and when you hear the drum and the vile squealing of thy wreck-necked fife, clamber not you up to the casements then, nor thrust your head into the public street to gaze on Christian fools with varnished faces. But stop my house's ears, I mean my casements. Let not the sound of shallow foppery enter my sober house. By Jacob's staff, I swear I have no mind of feasting forth tonight, but I will go. Go you before me, sirrah, say I would come.
I will go before you, sir. Mistress, look out at window for all this. There will come a Christian boy, will be worth the Jew's eye.
Exit Lancelot.
What says that fool of Hagar's offspring, huh?
His words were, farewell, mistress, nothing else.
The patch is kind enough, but a huge feeder. Snail slow in profit, and he sleeps by day, more than the wildcat. Drones hive not with me, therefore I part with him, and part with him to one that I would have him help to waste his borrowed purse. Well, Jessica, go in. Perhaps I will return immediately. Do as I bid you. Shut doors after you. Fast bind, fast find. A proverb never stale in thrifty mind.
Farewell, and if my fortune be not crossed, I have a father, you a daughter lost.
Dun, dun, dun.
So we're back.
Okay. So if I remember correctly, actually Lancelot has been invited to Lancelot's new master's house. Is that what's going on?
I thought I read it that Shylock was invited to dinner.
Yes.
and
Oh, what did I say?
doesn't,
What did I say?
yeah, and doesn't want to go.
He doesn't want to go. And so can someone tell me why he is going? Because he refused Antonio's offer earlier. And remember we had this conversation about
Mm.
dietary restrictions and how difficult they were. But
I think
this
I think it's sorry, Duncan. Yeah, go ahead.
no, please.
I, it strikes me that his priority is business. And I think we
Mhm.
read earlier that he wouldn't go just to be friends with people, but he would go if there was business to be done. And I just wonder, is that what is behind him going to this dinner?
Yeah, he says, yet I go in hate to feed upon the prodigal Christian.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's
But
strong
yet I
language,
go.
isn't it?
Well, it says, um, I am right loath to go. It says here in the notes, loath means unwilling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think it's even stronger than that, Jim. Loathe, you would loathe somebody if you hated them.
Yes,
So,
I know, John. I understand that. I'm just saying what it says here in the notes.
sure, I
They
understand.
have
Yeah.
unwilling.
Yeah. Yeah, well, certainly he's unwilling.
Yeah, yeah.
But when he
I would have
talks
taken your
about,
meaning from it too, except for what this says.
sure. No, I just
So,
wonder, the previous language is very strong, isn't it? I go in hate to feed upon the prodigal Christian. It would seem as though he wants to take advantage uh, of somebody there.
well, I think
I'm not big
correct
for
me if I'm
that
wrong,
food
but I
dish.
think he's very glad to get rid of Lancelot.
Okay.
And that this is, I'm not quite sure what the responsibilities are in employment in these days, but it seems to me for some reason he thinks it's to his advantage to get rid of Lancelot,
Okay.
and therefore he's willing to go to this dinner. Am
But
I?
why would you?
Too nice.
And
Sorry, Anne.
I believe he's going to Gratiano's house. Is that where he's going? Who is who
Yeah.
is
Gratiano is a companion to Bassanio.
yes, and who is going to be Lancelot's new employer?
In the previous scene, it says, "Meet me and Graziano at Graziano's lodging house some hour hence." So you're right, he's going to Graziano's lodging.
Right, and Graziano is a party boy, if I'm not mistaken.
Gratiano is the companion to Bassanio, and doesn't he tie up with Nerissa, who's the
Larissa
companion?
Right.
To Port,
to
and they
Portia.
the third. That's the Portia. That's the third marriage.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, even more than Bassanio, I believe Gratiano is more of a party boy and is a bit on the crude side
Okay.
because it seems to me that my memory is that Bassanio was telling Gratiano that he needed to behave himself when they went to Belmont to see Portia.
Oh, yes, that's right. There's a bunch of guys there, and they're friends to Antonio and Bassanio. And one of those is Graziano.
Mm-hmm.
This is according to the Dramatis Personae, which is my gospel.
Yeah. I would like to know why. I mean, I would like to know why Shylock has to go to Gratiano's house. It doesn't quite make sense to me. unless there's some sort of contract, employment contract, that when a servant is going to move to a new house, that the old master needs to talk to the new master. But I'm just grasping at straws on this. Okay.
Lancelot says in the previous scene, "Marry, sir, to bid my old master the Jew to sup tonight with my new master the Christian." Is Lancelot crossing the divide there, going from Shylock over to the Christian, who could be Bassanio or Graziano?
Yeah, well, and of course, the subplot here is that they are going to give Jessica her opportunity to escape, with her father's money, I might add.
Oh, right, okay.
That's what's going on here.
Okay.
Part of what's going on here is they want to get Shylock out of the way so Jessica can steal her father's money and elope with whoever her lover is. Forget who her lover is. Oh, Lorenzo. He's going to run away with Lorenzo. So, I mean,
you're right.
Lorenzo. That is one reason why they got to get Shylock out of the house.
Yeah.
Because apparently Shylock keeps Jessica in the house and watches her like a hawk, as they say.
And yet Shylock says, there is some ill brewing towards my rest. So clearly something on his mind. He's suspicious of whatever is going on. Bride did dreamy body bags tonight.
It says here, Shylock accepts the invitation, but he's worried about what may happen to his money and valuables when Jessica is alone in his house. And also, Shylock believes he's been invited to dine with Christians at Bassanio's house, not because they love him, but because they want to flatter him.
Yeah, he says that.
Yeah, they flatter me, but yet I'll go and hate.
Yeah.
Okay. I think it's incredibly economical and masterful the way that Shakespeare, in a very short piece, has let us know what kind of oppression Jessica is under and why she would want to escape from her father's house.
She would be very much a second-class citizen in his household, wouldn't she?
Yes.
Probably even more than that.
Probably even more than that. Yeah.
How did they get Shylock to agree to come to eat when he refused earlier to eat with, was it Bassanio or Antonio or whatever? He'd do business with them, but he would never dine with them.
Right. He refused to dine with Antonio.
Yeah.
But he has agreed to go to, I guess, to Gratiano's house. That's why I was asking, is there something about when a servant moves from one house to another? Is it customary for the old master to socialize with the new master as a way of confirming the agreement?
Maybe.
I think he just wants to get rid. I think Shylock just wants to get rid of Lancelot because Lancelot is a goofball.
He's also betraying him by crossing the line like this, isn't he, Lancelot?
Yeah. Oh my God, yeah.
And again, I suppose this is the racism thing coming in here, that, here's Lancelot working with the Jew, and now he's moving over to work with the Christian.
I did a little bit of reading because I'm very interested in this, the relationship between, if there is one, between anti-Semitism and the character of Shylock. And one of the people that I've been reading said, well, you can think that, but the reality is Shylock's personality is pretty horrible just in itself.
Mhm.
And it doesn't necessarily have anything to do with his religion, but he is a cheapskate and he's very suspicious and he doesn't like fun.
And money is his god.
Yeah.
And money is his obsession.
Mm.
So yeah, these are, classic stereotypes, but on the other hand, there are also pretty good reasons for not liking him. He's a very dour, clutching character. And here we have in this scene here, what I find interesting about this scene is, we haven't seen Jessica very much, but just with a very few lines, we really understand why Jessica may want to steal her father's money and run away with a Christian. And it has more to do with Shylock's personality than it does with his religion. And I think it's pretty masterful.
Mhm.
And it's also pretty masterful the way Lancelot, although he's a dummy and a clown, is very effective in helping to set up Jessica's escape.
He says, interestingly, to Shylock, I will go before, sir. Mistress,
Yeah.
presumably is Jessica, look out at window for all this. There would come a Christian by, will be worth a Jewess's eye. Is he referring to her fiance or her boyfriend? Saying
Yes, yes.
Hmm.
He's reminding her that they have a plot
Yeah.
to help her escape.
And who is Hagar's offspring? What says that fool of Hagar's offspring? Do we know who Hagar is?
Yeah, well, Hagar was the spurned wife of Abraham.
Okay.
Yeah.
I believe that I believe Sarah, Sarah was, correct me if I'm wrong. My biblical knowledge is shaky at best, but I believe that it goes like this: that Abraham was married to Sarah.
Mm-hmm.
Sarah was barren. So Sarah convinced Abraham to have sex with the servant Hagar. And Hagar got pregnant and had a child. And then the Lord set it up so that Sarah would get pregnant.
Okay.
And then when Sarah got pregnant, she wanted Abraham to get rid of Hagar. That Hagar was suddenly, instead of being an instrument to help keep the family going, she became an obstacle and a threat to the hereditary line.
Okay.
Can anybody correct me on any of that?
No, I'm taking your word for word.
It
But
says,
it sounds
here
right.
in the school notes that fool Hagar's offspring. Shylock is referring to Lancelot. Hagar was the Egyptian maid to Abraham's wife and bore Abraham a son called Ishmael, whom he disowned. Shylock, by comparing Lancelot to Ishmael, suggests that he has disowned his servant.
Yeah, okay. All right. So my version of the story holds up then,
Absolutely.
according
Yeah.
to the school note.
Yes.
Okay. Let's see, to one I would have him help to waste. So he doesn't mind costing Gratiano money. His borrowed purse. Or maybe he's going to Bassanio's house. I'm not sure about that. Well, Jessica, go in. Perhaps I will return immediately. Do as I bid you. Shut the doors after you.
Mm.
Fast bind, fast find. A proverb never stale in thrifty mind. So he's basically saying, if I keep you under strict lock and key, I'll know where you are. And then Jessica, off to the side, says, farewell, and if my fortune be not crossed, I have a daughter. I have a father, you a daughter lost. Everything is going according to plan. But Shylock is doing a very good job of pissing everybody off. He speaks badly about Lancelot. He treats his daughter badly. He treats his host for the evening. He has critical things to say of him. But at the same time, he's worried that something is not quite right.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to read this one little speech where he says, what? Are there masks? Meaning, is there a party going on? Hear me, you, Jessica. Lock up my doors. And when you hear the drum and the vile squealing of the wry-necked fife, clamber not ye up to the casements then, nor thrust your head into the public street. To gaze on Christian fools with varnished faces. But stop my house's ears, I mean my casements. Let not the sound of shallow foppery enter my sober house. By Jacob's staff I swear I have no mind of feasting forth tonight, but I will go. Go you before me, sirrah, say I will come.
Duncan, back when Shylock is talking about his dream, and he says, there is some ill a brewing towards my rest, for I did dream of money bags tonight. And do you remember, I had to look it up there, in Dante, the usurpers that was their punishment. They had money bags around their neck.
Uh-huh.
Good.
And the Jews were only allowed to do that, to actually take interest. Mm-hmm. So Dante had that.
Yeah.
I was trying to find it.
Okay. Yeah, this seems to me, I mean, this is one of the arguments being made in some of the material I'm reading is saying that, yes, Shylock is a Jew, but it's actually, there are many reasons of his personality to find him distasteful. And among them being that he does not like parties, he does not like what he considers frivolousness.
But he also charges interest.
He also charges interest, and he's keeping his daughter locked up.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's why he has a money bags.
That's why he has the money bags, and that is why his daughter is going to steal his money bags and escape.
Exactly.
A classic situation. I've known several situations where families have tried to control their daughters in such a manner,
Mhm.
and yet the daughters almost invariably escape in one way or
Absolutely.
another.
Exactly. And that's why Antonio spits on him and things, because he does charge interest.
Okay, are we ready to go to scene 6?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, so we got Gratiano and Salarino.
And we'll have Lorenzo and Jessica and Antonio.
Oh, wow. I'm gonna have to write this one down.
You'd have to go double jobbing, lads.
Looks like it.
Okay, so we're gonna start with Gratiano and Salarino.
Gratiano.
Okay, volunteer for Gratiano.
I'll volunteer you, Duncan, for that. You haven't read much yet.
Okay, I'll be Gratiano. And Salarino?
Salarino.
Just
Are you volunteering there, Jim, for Salarino?
I am
Okay.
Duncan, yes.
Okay, Lorenzo.
I'll take Lorenzo.
and
Okay.
I'll take Jessica.
We're giving you Jessica again, Anne.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. And that's the whole crew right there, right? Oh no,
Yeah,
until we
because it's very short as well.
okay. We do get a little Antonio
At the end.
at the
Yeah.
end. Okay. All right, here we go. Act 2, scene 6, the same. Enter Gratiano and Salarino, mask. So I guess mask means they literally have mask on. So this is some sort of party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's mentioned
Gratiano.
back. Yeah.
Okay. Gratiano. This is the penthouse under which Lorenzo desired us to stand.
His hour is almost past.
And it is marvel he outdwells his hour, for lovers ever run before the clock.
Or 10 times faster Venus pigeons fly to see lovers' bonds snoop made than they are wont to keep obliged fate unforfeited.
That ever holds who rises from the feast with that keen appetite that he sits down. That ever holds. That ever holds. Who rises from a feast with that keen appetite that he sits down? Where is the horse that doth untread again his tedious measures with the unbaited fire, that he did pace them first, all things that are, with more spirit chaste than enjoyed? How like a younker or a prodigal that scarf-fed bark puts from her native bay, hugged and embraced by the strumpet wind. How like the prodigal does she return, with overweathered ribs and ragged sails, lean, rent, and beggared by the strumpet wind.
Here comes Lorenzo. More of this hereafter.
Sweet
Enter
friends. Sorry. Yeah, enter Lorenzo. Sweet friends, your patience for my long abode. Not I, but my affairs have made you wait. When you shall please to play the thieves for wives, I'll watch as long for you then. Approach. Here dwells my father Jew. Oh, who's within?
Enter Jessica above in boy's clothes. Jessica, who are you? Tell me. For more certainty, I swear that I do know your tongue.
Lorenzo and thy love.
Lorenzo, certain, and my love indeed, for who love I so much, and now who knows but you, Lorenzo, whether I am yours.
Heaven and thy thoughts are witnesses that thou art.
Here, catch this casket. It is worth the pains. I am glad 'tis night. You do not look on me, for I am much ashamed of my exchange. But love is blind, and lovers cannot see the petty follies that themselves commit. For if they could, Cupid himself would blush to see me thus transformed to a boy.
Descend, for you must be my torchbearer.
What must I hold a candle to my shames? They in themselves could suit, or too light. Why, 'tis an office of discovery, love, and I should be obscured.
So are you, sweet, even in the lovely garnish of a boy. But come at once, for the close night doth play the runaway, and we are stayed for at Bassanio's feast.
I will make fast the doors and gild myself with some more ducats and be with you straight. Exit above.
Gratiano. Now, by my hood, a gentile and no Jew.
Beshrew me, but I love her heartily, for she is wise, if I can judge of her. And fair she is, if that mine eyes be true, and true she is, as she had proved herself, and therefore, like herself, wise, fair, and true, shall she be placed in my constant soul.
What art thou come, O gentleman, away? Our masquerade mates by this time for us stay. Exit with Jessica and Celia. Antonio?
Who's there? Signor Antonio. Five, Gratiano. Where are all the rest? 'Tis 9 o'clock. Our friends all stay for you. No mass tonight. The wind has come about. Bassanio presently will go abroad. I have sent 20 out to seek for you. Gratiano. I am glad on it. I desire no more delight than to be under sail and gone tonight.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So at the very beginning of this scene, we have Gratiano and Salarino waiting outside of a penthouse. And at Lorenzo's request. But Lorenzo's late.
He says his affairs have made him late,
Mm-hmm.
not himself.
You should please to play the thieves for wives.
Okay, so then we have Gratiano basically complaining. Then we have Lorenzo.
Lorenzo saying, when you shall please to play the thieves for wives. This seems to be part of the plot, doesn't it?
Mm.
Yeah,
In other
this
words,
reminds me of. Mhm.
he's acting for Jessica, isn't he? Because he's her lover. So they're working together.
Yes, this reminds me of the old tradition, and I believe in Italy this was a really common tradition of where friends would steal the bride away. They would kidnap the bride.
Okay.
A serious kidnap? Or
Yeah.
just,
I mean,
oh,
it was play acting.
yeah.
Mm.
It was play acting, but it was to make it as if um, the bridegroom was aggressive enough that he would steal the bride away from her father.
Hmm.
And if I remember correctly, this was to demonstrate that the bridegroom was serious enough to do something like that.
Okay.
Okay.
He'd want
And
to be
that's what
fairly sure of his ground, wouldn't he? Bridegroom.
it could be a bit dangerous if you don't.
Particularly in Italy, or maybe southern Italy, particularly.
Or Sicily.
Mm.
That's what I mean.
Mm.
Yes, yes. And then we had the thing that Jessica is dressed in boys' clothes.
Mhm. So
Hmm.
she won't be seen.
And she does that under cover of the mask. So she's able to hear as a boy.
Mm.
But should she not want to stay at Shylock's house if she's hoping to lift his money, rather than going to Graziano's house for the mask?
She grabs the money. She has the money with her.
She has
Okay.
the money with her.
All
I
right.
think she
Okay.
says that
Yeah.
later. She says that down further.
Yeah, she dresses in boys' clothes, grabs the money, and leaves the house.
Ah, yeah. Here, catch this casket. It is worth the pains.
Yeah.
So
And
that's
then
the
she's
money.
ashamed. Yeah, I'm guessing.
You know, that's got to be okay. It's got to be terribly dangerous
Yeah.
for a young Jewish girl to steal her father's money.
But love is blind, and
To
lovers
meet,
cannot see.
yeah, but I mean, that's got to be really a dangerous situation. And not to be too morbid, but I'm sure there's more than one case where some young Jewish has done that and then was murdered and the money stolen.
Yeah.
And then, okay, here, catch this casket, it is worth the pains. I'm glad 'tis night, you do not look on me, for I am much ashamed of my exchange. But love is blind and lovers cannot see the petty follies that they themselves commit. For if they could, Cupid himself would blush to see me thus transformed to a boy.
Yeah.
So lots of crimes going on here. Dressed as a boy. It's nighttime. She has her father's money.
Is she just taking the money of her own volition, or has Lorenzo put her up to it?
I've seen no indication that Lorenzo put her up to it.
Mm,
But at the same time, he is expecting her.
yeah.
So he must know that she is coming.
Yes, that part of it is worked out.
And he obviously recognized her. He knows that she's going to be in disguise.
Well, yes, and he has a look. Descend. Actually, she must be in the house right now or on the stairway, because after she says, "For if they could, Cupid himself would blush to see me thus transformed to a boy." Lorenzo, descend, for you must be my torchbearer. But I've seen no indication that Lorenzo has asked her to steal her father's money.
No, it certainly doesn't say that. I was just surmising in view of the fact that Lorenzo is her lover and she clearly wants to escape from the house with the money. I just wonder, were
And
they chatting
he
about
clearly
this?
knows that she's coming.
Yeah.
Yes, they
There's no
have an arrangement made up. They do have
Mm.
an arrangement made.
Definitely.
This is quite fascinating. I know of a case almost exactly like this. A real life modern case.
Really.
Okay.
In Texas?
No, not in Texas. But in that particular case, the woman, the girl, did not steal her father's money, but she did take money which she had painstakingly collected over a number of years. And it was a substantial amount of money.
Mm.
I will make fast the door. I will make fast the doors and gild myself with some more ducats and be with you straight.
Mm. Did Lorenzo go to collect her? But Jessica says, "Why must I hold a candle to my shade? They in themselves could suit or too delightful." My dad, Lorenzo, so are you sweet, even in the lovely garnish of a boy, but come at once for the closed night, though, to play the runaway, and we are stayed for at Bassanio's feast. So they're going to Bassanio's. Will they be undercover? And she says what you were just saying there, Duncan. I will make fast the doors and gild myself with some more ducats and be with you straight.
Just
Yeah,
And
I
then
think
more loose.
Gratiano is questioning Lorenzo about whether he really likes her or loves her or not. Now, by my hood, a Gentile and no Jew. And Lorenzo says, "Beshew me, but I love her heartily, for she is wise." So he's not with her just for the money. He's with her because he really loves her. I'm guessing from that paragraph.
Mm.
well, I'm saying that the line where it says, "Now by my hood, a Gentile and no Jew." I think that, okay, so in my mind, what has happened is we have Gratiano and is it Salarino
Mhm.
and Lorenzo. So Gratiano and Salarino were waiting for Lorenzo to show up. Lorenzo shows up, and they're actually at Shylock's house.
Mm.
And Jessica comes down and dressed as a boy. And she says, okay, I'm ready. I'm really ashamed of what I'm doing, blah, blah, blah. But I've got money. Let me go get some more money and come back down. And then she just
Graciano.
Gratiano says, now buy my hood a Gentile and no Jew. So I think Gratiano actually gave her a cloak to put over her.
Okay, maybe.
So she can look like one of three men, one of four men.
Mm.
Because you got
Okay.
Lorenzo, you got Salarino, and you got
Graciano.
Gratiano, and Gratiano puts a cloak with a hood over Jessica, and then she becomes a fourth man. And now by my hood, a Gentile and no Jew. So you're completely in masquerade now. No one will know that you're Jessica the Jewess. And where's Antonio? Okay. Proved herself. Okay. So she's proven trustworthy because not only has she shown up, but she's got money. Enter Jessica. What art thou come? Oh, gentlemen, away, our masking mates by this time for us to stay. Our masking mates by this time for us to stay. Enter Antonio. Where is Antonio? Oh, okay. Antonio, who's there? Huh. I'm not quite sure what's happening at the end of this scene other than Bassanio is going to jump on a boat.
Okay, so why is Antonio sending him away? Why is he sending Bassanio away?
Well, Bassanio is going to Belmont to pursue Portia, right?
Oh, okay. So he went by boat.
He went by boat. He and Gratiano were supposed to go by boat. Gratiano was to go with Bassanio.
Because later he is with them, isn't he? Because when he proposes to Portia's
Nerissa,
companion, yeah.
Nessia or Nerissa.
Yeah.
Yeah. This seems a little messy right here at the end, though. Where they're trying to do two things at one time. We just got Jessica out of the house, and all of a sudden we're switching to Bassanio leaving. What art thou
He says
come?
that the wind has come about. Obviously, they're waiting to sail. And when the wind comes about, that's the signal for them to go aboard and sail.
Mm-hmm.
Bassanio presently will go aboard as a result of the wind coming about.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Graziano says, I'm glad in it. I desire no more delight than to be under sail and gone tonight. but he doesn't want to hang around.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I think I'm just gonna put a note of messiness here.
Mm.
I hope Shakespeare is not upset.
I don't think so. I don't think so. That's just okay. And then all of a sudden we're in Belmont.
Yeah.
And it's just a conversation between Portia and the Prince of Morocco.
Mm-hmm. So this is really kind of interesting and messy though. So they just make the escape with Jessica, and all of a sudden we've got two of the guys going off on a ship. So we know that Lorenzo and Jessica are together. We know that Jessica got the money. We know
Yeah, and I
that
suppose they would have to tie up because oh no, they didn't. Sorry, ignore me. Because I was thinking she was giving the money to Bassanio, but no, she wasn't. That was for
no, she's
herself
not
and
giving the money to
Lorenzo.
Bassanio. No, the money that Bassanio is going to use is the money that he borrowed from
From
that
Antonio,
Antonio
yeah.
borrowed from Shylock.
I was just thinking of a reason why the two scenes are put together.
Yeah,
I think it's a story being told in parallel, isn't it? Portia's story.
Well, they're not entirely in parallel though, because two of the guys that are going off, well, at least Gratiano is one of Lorenzo's helper, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Gratiano and Salarino are the helpers who are helping Lorenzo help Jessica escape from her father's house.
But they're also friends to Antonio and Bassanio.
Right, and we don't know where Bassanio has been during this time. Bassanio is not in the act that we just read at all.
No.
But we do know that he's a suitor to Portia.
We do know that he's a suitor to Portia, and we do know that Gratiano is going to go with Bassanio to Belmont.
Mm.
And Gratiano is also one of the guys helping Jessica escape.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to assume that now that Gratiano has helped Jessica to escape, now he's free to jump on the boat with Bassanio and sail away to
Belmont.
Belmont. Okay. All right. Well, we got a little bit more time here. Shall we read? Let's see how long.
Very short.
It's just 2 pages again. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They're great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. In that case, so we have Portia. And would you be kind enough to do Portia?
Yeah.
And we have the Prince of Morocco. Who would like to be the Prince of Morocco? And that's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did someone take the prince? Did someone take the prince? Did someone take the prince?
I think you just did.
Okay.
Be very careful. Okay. Enter Portia. And there are trains. Okay, that's me. Go draw aside the curtains and discover the several caskets to this noble prince. Now make your choice.
The first of gold, who this inscription bears, who chooseth me shall gain what many men desire. The second silver, which this promise carries, who chooseth me shall get as much as he deserves.
Mm.
The third, dull lead, with warnings all as blunt, who chooseth me must give and hazard all he hath. How shall I know if I do choose the right?
One of them contains my picture, Prince. If you choose that, then I am yours withal.
Some God direct my judgment. Let me see. I will survey the inscriptions back again. Who says this leaden casket, who chooseth me must give and hazard all he hath. Must give for what? For lead? Hazard for lead? This casket threatens. Men that hazard all do it in hope of fair advantages. A gold mine stoops not to shows of dross. I'll then nor give nor hazard aught for lead. What says the silver with her virgin hue? Who chooseth me shall get as much as he deserves. As much as he deserves. Pause there, Morocco, and weigh thy value with an even hand. If thou beest rated by thy estimation, thou dost deserve enough, and yet enough may not extend so far as to the lady, and yet to be afeard of my deserving, were but a weak disabling of myself. As much as I deserve, why, that's the lady. I do in birth deserve her, and in fortunes, in graces, and in qualities of breeding. But more than these, in love I do deserve. What if I strayed no further but choose here? Let's see once more this saying graved in gold. Who chooseth me shall gain what many men desire. Why, that's the lady, all the world desires her. From the four corners of the earth they come to kiss this shrine, this mortal breeding saint. The Hycranian deserts and the vast these wilds of wild Arabia are as thoroughfares now. For princes to come view fair Portia, the watery kingdom whose ambitions head spreads in the face of heaven is no bar to stop the foreign spirits, but they come as o'er brook to see fair Portia. One of these three contains her heavenly picture. It's like the lead contains her. To her damnation, to think so base a thought, it were too gross to rip her poor cloth in the obscure grave. Or shall I think in silver she immured, being 10 times undervalued to try gold? O sinful thought, ne'er so rich a gem was set in worse than gold. They have in England a coin that bears the figure of an angel, stamped in gold, but that's insculped upon. But here an angel in a golden bed lies all within. Deliver me the key. Here do I choose and thrive I as I may.
There, take it, Prince. And if my form lie there, then I am yours. He unlocks the gold casket.
Oh hell, what have we here? A carrion death within the with empty eye. There is a written scroll. I'll read the writing. All that listens is not gold. Often have you heard that told. Many a man his life had sold, but my outside to behold. Gilded tombs do worms enfold. Have you seen as wise as bold? Young in limbs, in judgment old, your answer had not been inscrolled. Fare you well, your suit is cold. Cold indeed and labour lost. Then farewell heat and welcome frost. Portia, adieu. I have too grieved the heart to take a tedious leave. Thus losers part.
Um, a gentle riddance. Draw the curtains go, let all of his complexions choose me so.
Oh,
Hmm.
hmm.
Yeah.
So it looks like he chose unwisely.
He did indeed.
Well, he didn't get the girl.
No, he definitely didn't.
There's that famous phrase, "All that
Interesting.
glitters is not gold."
Exactly.
Yes.
And he went for the golden casket
Many,
and
many
spoon.
Yeah. I was interested that in here it's glistens instead of glitters.
Yeah. I have glisters. Do you have the same?
Mine goes, all that glisters.
Yeah.
All that is not gold.
Yeah, mine is the same.
This is a pretty crazy situation now. I mean, why would anybody agree to this contest? Because not only does he lose
And
the girl,
love.
he's supposed to never marry. Is my understanding. Not only does he lose the girl, he can't get any girl after that.
Maybe if he went
Yeah,
back
but
to Morocco, he might be all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is, love is blind, and I should know because I followed a woman to Australia just to get the old heave ho.
That was just to help you and become enlightened. Yeah, so I mean, he's agreed to this crazy contest. All kinds of questions going on here. Why would Portia agree to something like this?
Because
And
her father insisted on it back at the
but
start.
his father's dead.
I know, but she has to follow what he said. Because didn't she actually say that she's following? So I can't remember where that was.
Yes, he set down the contest.
Yeah, and she does actually say that somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. So is the will of a living daughter curved by the will of a dead father?
Mm.
That's what I was trying to think of. Which is so true.
However, we have our contrast already in Jessica.
Mm-hmm.
Where Jessica
so the will of a living father is not
rebelling against the will of a living father.
Mm.
And notice also that there are caskets involved in both cases.
Yes.
Yeah.
That when Jessica leaves her father's house, she's leaving with a casket full of ducats.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I think she's going back for more, isn't she?
She did go back upstairs and grab a few more ducats, yes.
Oh, yeah.
But I think the real contrast is between Portia's obeying her dead father's will and Jessica rebelling against her living father's will.
Yeah. Indeed.
And I'm sure there's some intention in that parallelism.
What does the last line in the scene mean? Draw the curtains go, let all of his complexion choose me so.
Means I don't want.
He's a dark-skinned gentleman, presumably being a prince of Morocco.
That's correct.
That's right.
Yes. So we have a bit of racism here.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, like, whew, man, I'm glad he chose the wrong casket.
Exactly. Gentle riddance.
Yeah, she's been nice to him.
She's no choice.
She's a properly
Okay.
raised young lady.
Indeed.
But I think as we will find out, she's a little trickier than we've all been led to believe
Mm.
up to this point in our education.
Yep. I mean, she's one of Shakespeare's major characters, isn't she? Portia.
Uh-huh.
Mm.
Yeah, well, she's one of the ones that almost every school child will recognize, albeit incorrectly. They will recognize her, and and will be able to quote part of the soliloquy. The quality of mercy is not strained. Okay, well, this all seems pretty straight ahead. So we had the Prince of Morocco, and we have Portia. Prince of Morocco makes a big speech about his choices.
Mm.
He chooses wrong, and he accepts his loss.
Feet. Mm.
He accepts his defeat.
Mhm.
He does say, "Oh hell, what have we here? A carrion death within whose empty eye there is a
Mhm.
written scroll." Carrion death. That would suggest vultures, wouldn't it?
Yeah, carrion is a dead rotting body.
Dead rotting body, yeah.
Which
And
if
the
he if he actually accepted the terms of the contest, he's not supposed to marry or
yeah,
have children. So he's kind of like being dead in life from that point on if he were to follow the rules strictly. At least
and
that's how I'm accepting the carrion. There is a
yeah,
body, he still has a body, but it's useless. He can't reproduce and he can't get married because
that's,
he agreed to this crazy contest thing.
that's a pretty tough penalty, isn't it?
That's a pretty tough
Yeah.
penalty. Yeah, that's why there is a question to be asked. Who would agree to such a thing?
Yeah. And why did Portia's father set it up like this?
Mm.
Maybe all will be revealed further on. We hope.
Okay.
Why do you
I
think
can
there's no
see.
future for him? I would have assumed that it was just that he wouldn't have been marrying Portia. Or
No, I
having,
think he's
no?
not supposed to marry anybody. I think that's the deal.
Wow. Oh, that's
I'll have
really
to.
tough.
I need to go look for why I think that. I'm not sure why I think
Yeah, you
that.
probably saw something earlier
Yeah,
that I
but I
missed.
mean that is the deal. That
Hmm.
as I understand it, that you can enter the contest, but if you lose, you don't marry.
Mhm.
That's why I came up with that definition of what a carrion death means.
Okay.
We would probably have to go back to Act 2
Okay.
to find that.
Yeah. My homework.
Mhm.
Portia's first appearance is in Act 1, Scene 2,
Okay.
and she's talking with Nerissa, who's her serving maid.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm just clicking through that to see, does that explain the contest? Nerissa says, your father was ever virtuous, and holy men at their death have good inspirations. Therefore, the lottery that he hath devised in these 3 chests of gold, silver, and lead, whereof who chooses his meaning chooses you, will no doubt never be chosen by any rightly, but one who shall rightly love. But what warmth is there in your affection towards any of these princely suitors that are already come?
Okay, your father was ever virtuous. Therefore, the lottery these 3 chests.
This seems
So who chooses his meaning chooses you. So if you understand the riddle with each one, you choose the right one. Yeah?
Mhm.
Well, no doubt never be chosen.
Portia seems to be a potential loser here, no matter who picks her. You know,
Because
she says God made him and therefore let him pass for a man. She's referring to Monsieur Le Bon. In truth, I know it is a sin to be a mocker, but he had the horse better than the Neapolitans, a better bad habit of frowning than the Count Palatine. He is every man in no man. If a throstle sing, he falls straight a capering, he will fence with his own shadow. If I should marry him, I should marry 20 husbands. If he would despise me, I would forgive him. For if he loved me to madness, I shall never requite him. A strange speech, isn't it?
So
we have some homework to do, as you said.
Well, the Olympics are coming to an end, so we might have an extra hour in the day.
Yes, they're all home on Monday.
Oh no, thank God. I know. The television is on 24 hours a day, isn't it? Okay, but he, the horse better than definitely.
Anyway, according to the Folger education site, it says in Act 2, Scene 1, at Belmont, the Prince of Morocco greets Portia, who tells him the terms of the contest. If he chooses the wrong chest, he must never again seek to marry.
Wow.
So that's Act 2, Scene 1.
I just wonder who can hold him to that if he comes from a different country. And
Well,
whence he came.
Act 2, Scene 1.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I don't know. Another question to add on to my continually evolving series of questions.
Maybe Dave Little, when he returns from the wedding, will resolve all of these matters for us.
That's right. Okay.
Okay. That was a good session again.
Excellent.
Okay, so we have officially, we probably should come back and go over this last scene again, but officially we're ready to move on to
Scene 8.
Scene 8. Okay, well, it's been fun.
As always.
Thank you.
Good night,
Good
everyone.
weekend, everybody.
Bye.
You have,
Bye-bye.
if you are
Thank
there
you.
more Olympics going on, or are the Olympics over?
No, it's still running at the moment.
Sunday.
Sunday, I think. They have the
Sunday.
marathon.
Well, if you have any more dogs in any races, I hope they come through for you.
Thank you.
All right.
Oh, we
Bye-bye.
do tomorrow. The relay. Bye.
Bye bye.